Hello? Is this thing on? I hope you're receiving this because this is big. This is huge. This is going to blow the lid off a big, big conspiracy that involves a lot of powerful people. I am, of course, talking about the Illuminati. Anyone who's spent any amount of time on YouTube or talking in various YouTube communities knows there are a lot of very strange people out there.
You are all weirdos! Ugh.
And it's a fair bet when you start arguing with anybody, particularly those on the particularly extreme right, of particular religious influences, the word Illuminati is going to turn up. But what does this word actually mean? Where did it come from? What's its history? Well, the answer is extremely strange.
I will enjoy dissecting your brain, Miss Kyle.
That guy creeps me out. Anyhow, this video I shall be going through the strange history of the conspiracy theory from its earliest roots to the present day. Hope you got your tinfoil hat on. We begin in the 18th century. A lot of conspiracy theories started in the 18th century because it was the beginning of the Enlightenment and it was the beginning of the challenging of established ideas, particularly with religion and science and politics, with the French Revolution. I don't count the American one as a revolution because it wasn't much of a revolution, more of a sideways step of power. But that's a subject for another time. We have several groups popping up that are later labelled secret societies, but they're not really that secretive. And one of these is the Bavarian Order that first uses the name Illuminati. This chap you've just seen, Adam Weishaupt, was the founder. And essentially they're a big bunch of rich blokes who sat around doing very little whilst thinking they were changing the world. They did manage to get themselves condemned by the Pope, which is quite an achievement, but more than that I can't really see them doing a lot. There are a few people who claim to be members who were later important in history on the continent, but beyond the various German states and possibly some influence in France. I can't really see them having much influence at all. And how this became a global conspiracy theory, well, of course the blame falls squarely on us poor fiction writers once again. Between this, the Satanic Panic, Waddington's created Ouija board, and goodness knows how many other controversies involving obviously fictional games. This is why we can't have nice things, and this is why we have to put flipping great long disclaimers on the front of every fucking product we release. Thank you very much, idiots, mostly in America. But yes, the Illuminati's first sort of real reappearance into popular culture was well, there were some conspiracy theories floating around before, I'm told, but the first time it really became popular was in 1982. 1982 being when Steve Jackson Games released the Illuminati board/card game. They had some problems releasing it. I think they were to do with issues of fantasy, reality and proper disclaimers, but this of course started more conspiracy theories saying that maybe Jackson's trying to leak something from the inner circle or whatever. My boss used to work with him, trust me. Steve Jackson is far from from any fictional secret society than anybody he'd ever met. Anyhow, we had the Illuminati board game. We also had the Illuminati novels in 1984, and ever since then, with people like David Icke, with later people like Alec Jones with his NWO development on it, which is basically the old Illuminati stuff dressed up in slightly more plausible clothing. Despite the fact the two sets of fans seem to hate each other, which is kind of cool. Yes, you're crazy, you believe in reptilians. You're crazy, you believe in it's really rather amusing when that happens. It's a typical case of People's Front of Judea and Judean People's Front.
Are you the Judean People's Front?
Fuck off.
What?
Judean People's Front. The People's Front of Judea. Judean People's Front.
Wankers. Can I join your group?
Now, piss off.
I didn't want to sell this stuff. It's only a job. I hate the Romans as much as anybody.
Are you sure?
Oh, dead sure. I hate the Romans already.
Listen, if you wanted to join the PFJ, you'd have to really hate the Romans.
I do.
Oh, yeah? How much?
A lot.
Right, you're in. Listen, the only people we hate more than the Romans are the fucking Judean People's Front.
And the Judean Popular People's Front.
Oh,
yeah.
Split.
And the People's Front of Judea.
Yes.
The People's Front of Judea. Splitters.
We're the People's Front of Judea.
Oh. I thought we were the Popular Front.
People's Front.
Whatever happened to the Popular Front? Eh?
He's over there.
Of course, when you merge this with various end-time prophecies from Christianity, with extreme libertarians and their hatred of anything resembling socialism, and then, of course, the panic Fox News put up against Obama, supposed socialist. You know who's a bigger socialist than Obama? Winston fucking Churchill. I'm not kidding. He said famously in one of his speeches because he was one of the key people in founding our welfare state back in 1912 with the first state pensions and the first establishment of inheritance tax. He famously said, the idea that a society is a collection of individuals is ridiculous. An individual is but a cell in the greater organism that is the society. About as far from Maggie Thatcher as you could possibly, or Ron Paul as you could possibly bloody get. Then again, he was, like all good politicians on any side, he was an extreme pragmatist more than any holding any particular ideology. He did shit that worked and got it done. And his only real objection to the NHS was he wasn't sure we could afford it and keep the empire, which was unfortunate. But, yeah, so what we have here in total is a reference to an obscure piece of Bavarian history made popular by a 1980s board game, developed further by a 1980s novel, then compounded by conspiracy theorists like David Icke, later picked up by Alex Jones, added on with the first black president who everybody claims is a socialist but is a lot further right than even the right-wing members of our various parliaments here in Europe. Oh, and the most recent one I found hilarious was the UN's. The UN are trying to pass a resolution that controls the sale of arms to countries that are particularly nasty, like, say, Syria or Somalia, or places where the guns could do a lot of damage. Of course, the fact this is called this is a gun regulation bill going through the UN makes a lot of Americans suddenly jump up and say, "Oh, they're going to have an international gun ban." No, they're not. No, the UN has no teeth. Without the US, the UN has no teeth. So you cannot really say that they're planning on an international gun ban or only these other weird ideas they came up with. The FEMA camps as well. They create an environmental disaster thing. They turn it into the flipping Gestapo. It's incredible what some of these people are, and yeah, it's all based around cult mentality, misinterpreting the facts, and just generally fucking with. And when they go on about, oh, you're MI5 this, you're CIA that, you're working for them, where do you think Alex Jones and David Icke get all the leaks and things from? I bet you that any intelligence officer worth their salt will have a hotline straight to one of their informants. One of Jones's sources. They'll say, "Well, yeah, this happened. So every time we fuck up, we send it to the conspiracy theorists. Nobody bloody believes it. So just occasionally, when they get something right, that probably would be because everybody knows these guys are nutters. So if you want to cover something up, you just tell them, and nobody will believe them. It's genius." And although maybe I'm giving MI5 too much credit, they are the people who leave unencrypted documents on bloody trains. So I don't know. It's something I'd do, but maybe I'm a bit cleverer than they are. I don't know. Wouldn't want to blow my own trumpet there. But yes. So what we've ended up with this is taking as I said, this obscure Bavarian local history, blowing it into a wide conspiracy through its marriage with popular culture. Steve Jackson, you're a great guy. You create some great games, and I've suffered enough under people getting wrong end of the stick, but you got a lot to answer for here, mate, you really do.
The Music Meister sings the song that the world wants to hear. Let's not fight, let's get along for your hypnotic profiteer. The Music Meister is the man that the world shall obey. So do your job, steal all you can, while you're under my sway. It's too late, now's the date, when the world became unfurled. A satellite projects my might, around my finger you'll be twirled.